Hey YouTube, this is NuggetsHoopster here, and like I said in a video a couple days ago, I think, I would be starting with the deck of the month. So this is going to be the first deck of the month. So this is for May. This month is May, in case you didn't know. But anyway, so a lot of people for the deck of the month, like people that I subscribe to, like JT Underdog, I don't know, just you probably know what they are. But anyway. The deck of months they've been putting up have either been Blackwing or Lightsworn, and I could show you my Blackwing or my Lightsworn deck, but I decided to give you something different. So this is probably a tier 1.5 deck, I'd say, just because a lot of people are running Lightsworn now, and obviously if Skill Drain Dad wasn't out there, this deck could be a lot better. But still, even at my locals, only one person plays Skill Drain Dad, and I still don't think it's a very good deck, but that's just me. So, yeah, so this is the deck, and a lot of people refer this to as Empty Jar. So, here we go. Alright, so, one Morphine Jar. This is basically the key to the deck, and in case you don't figure it out, the way to win with this deck is by decking your opponent out. And so this is probably the best card in this deck, just because you can be decking them out because they draw 5 cards each time this flips up. And also you get to refuel your hand, so you keep getting cards to your hand. So that really helps. And yeah, this card's really godly. Next we got 3 Giant Rats. And so these are basically for when you don't open with Morphine Jar. So you set this, they attack it, you grab a jar, then you book it, and then you flip it back up somehow. And yeah, so these help a lot. Alright, next, 2 Needleworms. So these are used for when you sometimes have less cards than your opponent, say, because you've gone through your deck too fast or something, but your opponent only has like 10 cards left in their deck. So what you do is you shallow grave these guys back to the field, and then you flip them up, and then so it doesn't cause you to draw, and he just mills them, so that's why this card's really good. But also, he's also good because Rat can search him out, so sometimes you might want to search this guy out off a Rat. So, yeah. Alright, next, 2 Morphine Jar number 2s. These aren't as good as the first Morphine Jar. But, basically, it's kind of got a complicated effect, so I'll just read it. So it says, flip, return all monsters on the field to their respective decks and shuffle them. You and your opponent then pick up cards until you both have the same number of monster cards that return to each deck. Special summon the level 4 lower monster to the field in face down defense position. The rest of the cards picked up are discarded to the graveyard. So, this guy helps get out your Morphine Jar. Say you have it in your deck and you want to bring it out. So this will go back in the deck if you flip summon it, and then you can get a Morphine Jar out to the field and face down. So that really helps. And also this helps clear your opponent's field. And so say while they're picking up cards, they hit like an 8-star monster. That counts towards their monsters, and it just goes to the grave. So this also can be a way to clear their field if you have a problem with their field. Like say if they have a bunch of synchros, you can just set this, they all go back to the deck, and they won't get them back out. So really good. Alright, next got Sangin. Pretty obvious, gets Morphine Jar, and that's good. Next is Night Assailant. And Night Assailant, the reason why I run him is because turn 1s, if you have a dead hand, you can set him and they'll attack him with something, and then you kill their monsters, so that's good. But also the reason why I run him is because when he's discarded to the graveyard, you get back a flip effect monster from your grave to your hand, so that's a +1, and also you can get back Jar or something like that, so good. Alright, next 3 Book of Moons. Turns a monster face down, probably your Jar or your Needleworm, so this is really good. Next 3 Book of Tayus. This flips your monster's face up. So usually with a combo you get a set Morphine Jar, then you play Book of Tayu, and then as effect activates you chain Book of Moon for your hand, so it goes face down, and you keep doing that, and you keep recycling. So yeah. Next 3 Book of Eclipse. These are quick play as well. Turns all monsters on the field face down, and then during the end phase you flip all your opponent's monsters face up, and they draw a card for each one flipped up. So this can be a way to deck them out. If they have like 5 monsters in the field, you can play this, goes face down, and they draw 5 cards. But also this is just to turn the jar face down, so that's obviously good. Next 3 Cup of Ace. This card some people don't run, but I really like it, and it's tested really well for me. You flip a coin, heads, you draw 2 cards, and then tails, your opponent draws 2 cards. So either way, this helps the deck because you're either going to draw more cards, you can set more cards, flip your jar, get more advantage, or your opponent's going to draw 2 cards. That's 2 more cards that they're going into their deck. And also playing this while you have a Morphing Jar out, when you flip the Morphing Jar, they lose the advantage that they get off this. So, yeah, it's a really good card. Next, 3 Hand Destruction. This helps go through your deck, and they also go 2 more cards into their deck, so good card. Next, 3 Upstart Goblins. 1 for 1. Draw a card from your deck. Good. Card Destruction. This card's really good because if you get like a big hand, you can play like Giant Trinade, get all the spells back, and then play Card Destruction. So then you draw a lot of cards, and your opponent may draw a lot of cards as well. Next, these kind of all go together, but they're not. So 2 stones, discard 2 cards, get back any spell. So that's really good. And then I run a Spell Reproduction just because you can't run 3 stones, and this basically does the same job. You just discard 2 spells, and you get back a spell from your grave. So yeah, this deck runs a lot of spells, so it's really no problem. Next, Giant Trinade and Heavy. These are to get rid of like Skill Drain, stuff like that, and you go through the deck pretty fast. So if you're having a problem with any back rows that you think might mess up your play, you can just play this or play that, and yeah. All right, next, 2 Feather the Phoenix. This helps with the Morphing Jar, because say you have like a Book Tie in the grave that you want to use, but you're afraid that you might not draw another one. So what you do is you play this, put the Book Tie back on top of your deck, and then you flip the jar, and you'll draw into the Book of Tie. So that's good. Next, 2 Shallow Graves. These get back the Needleworms, and I think you only need to run 2 just because 3 is too many to me, and I don't run 3 Needleworms. So yeah, 2 of these, and also you can Foolish your Morphing Jar, and then just play this, so that gets it back face down, which is the position you want it to be in. Next, Foolish. I just run 1, just because I only like running 1. But this sends Morphing Jar to the grave, sends Needleworm to the grave, sends Diastylum to the grave if you want to. So, yeah, that's good. And then last card in my deck, 1 Desert Sunlight. I only run 1 just because the deck goes... If you're going through the deck and you really need to play this, it means you've probably gone through a lot of cards already, so you just you set up a bunch of stuff. And then say it's the last turn because you have like Needleworms out, but you didn't quite mill them out. So what this does, it turns all your monsters to face-up defense. So if they're face down, they flip up and they get their effects. So this also can be played defensively, because say if you have a bunch of stuff in attack mode for some reason, you just play this, and they all go to defense, so then you don't die. So, yeah. So that's the main deck. I used to have kind of a side, I had to take some of it apart for stuff, but I can show you the cards that I have in here currently. But yeah, it's definitely not a whole deck. So, 2 Desert Sunlight. These are just to side in if your opponent sides in some kind of stall. And this is really good on their turn, obviously. Marshmallow, this is stall, and yeah, it's good. 2 Burials, these are for if they remove your jar out of play, which really sucks. You basically lose they remove from play, so you just play this, and you get it back in your grave. Next, 3 Twisters. This is against Skill Drain and Oppression even, just because it messes up your Morphing Jar number 2. And, yeah, this is really good. And, Spirit Reaper, stall, 1 Threatening Roar. I would have 3, but I don't have the whole side deck right now, so Threatening Roar. This is good, just to stall them, and then flip all your stuff up. And then 1 Mystical to get rid of stuff, too. So, that's the deck. I didn't really want to show a Tier 1 deck, just because I wanted to be different, as you noticed. So, yeah, that's my... empty jar deck, and please rate, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. And if you have any questions about the deck, because it is kind of a confusing deck if you've like never heard of it before. So if you have any questions about cards, whatever, just comment on the video or send me a message, whatever, and I'd be happy to help you out. So thanks, guys.